The following is brought to you by the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, that's on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Welcome to the March 20th edition of One Nation Live. This is a special breaking news audio because yes, Daniel Bryan has been cleared and we are here to celebrate. James, what's going on, man?
Not too much. I'm just picturing like Daniel Bryan punching Miz in the face over and over and over right now. But yeah, it's a really good day.
Yes, it is a good day. Like Ice Cube once said, I was sitting at my job at about 3:10 p.m., I want to say, and I came across the news. It was Caleb that actually broke the news to us in the thread that we have, and I lost my fucking mind. As much as one could in silence. I had to suppress the feeling, but I am now sharing it all with you guys. I am so happy Daniel Bryan is back to wrestle in WWE, and it is right before they go back to New Orleans at WrestleMania, the site of WrestleMania 30. This ain't nothing but God's plan.
I guess so.
Yeah, man.
So where do you want to start from here? So where do you want to start on this?
So I guess let's just start with the decision to clear him. So apparently for the last 23 months, Daniel Bryan has been cleared by every single doctor that he's gone to outside of WWE. And I guess what happened was he basically checkmated Maroon with the suggestion like, hey, who do you trust? He got the names. Went there, those guys cleared him, and it was only so long Maroon could hate. And it was only so long WWE could keep this guy on the sidelines. I've long said on this show that this man has been ready to go for the past 2 years, the past 3 years, and I felt like it was a conspiracy the whole time. I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's back to business, and he can wrestle all these new guys.
Okay, so I'm not on the same spot, on the same place that you are. I think that a lot of it came down to they finally decided to give his brain another look, because I believe his brain actually has gotten better, because just like any type of post concussive situation, like your brain needs time to heal. Like it's not necessarily like, you know, like a scab where like it scabs over and then like you just have new skin again or whatever, but your brain does need time to heal and whatnot. And I believe, given what the word is over the past 23 months or so, and what happened even before then, like given the more yeses he's got along the way, that where like the last 23 months was all yeses. Before it was like he was getting a few yeses, or maybe even majority of the places to he was getting yeses, but he was still getting some no's at this point. I believe that his brain has gotten better. Like he has been doing a lot of, out there stuff to try to improve his brain, his cognitive skills, everything else. Like I feel like he's actually done so many different types of things, including the hyperbaric chamber stuff that people have talked about, where like his brain is better than it was, let's say, after Sheamus split his wig back then.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. And, when this all happened, you were the same thing. You thought that, like, this is them, like, this is just there's the excuse they're using as well to keep him away because they're trying to get over the new Golden Boy. At that time, I felt like, yeah, that could be it. That could be some of it. I don't think it's all of it, though. And now, time has passed. I think, the fact that he's reaching the point where it's about to become nut cutting time with his contract ending in, like, October, September-ish. Like, he was eventually going to test him. He's like, hey, man, like, y'all, I'm going to wrestle, so it's up to y'all. Do y'all want to make money with me, or do you want me to just make money on the outside because I'm not doing either? Because I don't care. Like, I've accomplished everything there was to accomplish in this fucking federation anyway.
Yeah, he was either gonna start making a shitload of money for someone else, and WWE was gonna miss out on it for whatever reason, and they've decided to put themselves back in the game with Daniel Bryan. I feel like Daniel Bryan has been gone so long that he has a host of new opponents now. We may finally have the key to getting Roman Reigns accepted now. I was talking to Dave, and I was telling him, I was like, I feel like the WrestleMania 35 main event is non-negotiable at this point. It's Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. And if Roman Reigns puts him over, I think people got to, like, ease up off of Roman Reigns forever at that point. Not because people didn't want to see Roman Reigns rise up, but people wanted to get that Daniel Bryan run that, we wanted. And then when it's time for Roman to go back up the mountain again, I feel like it will go so much better for him next time. And this is crazy because, James, what has always been my joke about this? Well, how do you get Roman Reigns cheer? I was like, well, you got to hope Daniel Bryan unretires. You got to hope they can fight at WrestleMania, and you got to have Daniel Bryan get put over by Reigns. Well, half of that scenario is now in play.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to I guess, given all the time, different ways they've tried, like, that'd be one way to try. My suggestion would be, given, like, the scenario everyone has said that they should try, given that Daniel Bryan was not cleared, was not an option until today, which was just turn the dude heel and then work and then go from there. And then, like, worst case scenario, you wait 6 months, a chance on, or babyface lukewarm checks on him, for him, is from his perspective, and then, like, now that, like, regardless, whatever happens, you're just going to be a lukewarm heel for the rest of your career because they fucked you at the Royal Rumble 2015. Now, I guess there's two options, but either way, they have to figure something out with him. I'm not really with you on it has to be Roman versus Bryan. Like, I would love to see Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania 35, and given the different opponents that are around, like, in what we think might happen with the schedule, with Daniel Bryan's schedule, I think that, like, they could get to that and have that be, the semi-main event of WrestleMania 35. Like, who knows if Brock's going to be around or not, but if Brock's gone, and, like, there will be a time where, like, they can actually finally make it about the current generation stars, as opposed to Undertaker and Lesnar and Shane and, whoever, and Triple H, whoever else from 20 years ago or 15 years ago.
I feel like we got the ruler is back. We got the biggest star of our era back. Like, and this is insane. It's like, he was always supposed to be the guy over the last couple of years. He was the man that people chose. He was the man that, the whole business essentially had to realign for, and has been the lightning rod of, essentially, he was the lightning rod of me covering wrestling. And it was like, it was just such a euphoric feeling. But I want to read the announcement that they made. So WWE made that announcement afternoon. It said, following more than 2 years of extensive evaluations, 4-time world champion Daniel Bryan has been medically cleared to return to in-ring competition by leading neurologists, neurosurgeons, and concussion experts, including Dr. Robert Cantu, Dr. Javier Cardenas, and Dr. Jeffrey Kutcher. Bryan underwent a full review of his medical history and received comprehensive neurological and physical evaluations independent of WWE. He was cleared by each doctor as well as WWE's medical director, Dr. Joseph Maroon. Kutcher in particular had become So Kutcher was the guy that he became an advocate to put together a united front of all the doctors who examined him over the past 2 years to convince Dr. Maroon, the head of WWE Medical, to clear him. This is from F4W.com. So it looked like, what I take from that, like, if Maroon was going to continue to not clear him, like, Daniel Bryan might have, like, tried to sue or something with all these doctors behind him saying, why won't y'all clear me? And then, figure it out. Or, but it looks like...
I don't know if it would have actually came to that, because given how close we were to his contract running expiring, like by the time they even got to his contract wouldn't expire before he even got to court for that. They even like get through that, so yeah. I don't think it would have came to that, but it could have in theory. Right. Yeah, sure.
So I guess let's talk about this year, WrestleMania 34. It looks like he's set to just slide into a tag team role, teaming with Shane McMahon against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We had a conversation earlier, James, about guys that ain't shit. What do you believe Kevin Owens is about to do, and what kind of heat is it about to generate?
Oh well, yeah. I think I said to you in our group message that has me, you, Jeremy, and Josh. Probably like last week sometime, that, given where we are in the time of the year, knowing the situation with Daniel Bryan before, hearing the news that he was going to get cleared, it seemed like something was going on had to explain why he was off of TV for 2 weeks, and it wasn't like anything that we had heard about. People kind of keep tabs on Daniel Bryan and his whereabouts.
Yes.
So, and it was kind of kept on the hush. I was thinking like, he must be trying to get tested or something. Like it was just like a random thing. Like, it would seem like it'd be around the time where people try to get tested to get cleared again. And I said to you, what the situation is, they beat up Shane. They whooped Shane's monkey ass on Raw, on SmackDown, and then next week Daniel Bryan comes back and they whoop his monkey ass too. And then because they keep it secret that he's actually been cleared, because they want people to absolutely lose their mind, thinking like, oh my god, work shoot, because it's work shoot mania season is right now, brother.
Yes.
So I thought maybe that was the route they were going towards. Turns out, maybe that was the case, whatever. But that kind of story could not be kept down or whatever, because apparently Meltzer is known for a few days. People have kind of known this was going on, so they decided to jump ahead of the story before it got brought out, and it would have ruined their angle. So they decided to go with the celebration that is tonight's SmackDown.
Right. And
I think they still have the opportunity to do this in same situation. A lot of people are going to know, but a lot of people are also not going to also know that Daniel Bryan's been cleared in time. We're only 5 hours. This was announced 5 hours before SmackDown airs, so they do this. Set Kevin Owens, who is already in the short list of biggest piece of shits in WWE history post Triple H. He does this. He now just has the throne alone to him. No Edge, no JBL, no Randy Orton, just him
alone. That man at the top, like the sun.
Yes. He stands upon Mount Olympus.
Yes. So what Brian said, he was his first comments about returning were on Twitter. He's been the number one trending topic on Twitter essentially for 4 hours straight now.
Yeah.
He said, saying goodbye to the ring was one of the hardest moments of my life, but thanks to the amazing people supporting me, I was able to keep fighting for my dream. This moment feels surreal, and I'm glad to be able to talk with you all at the beginning of SmackDown Live tonight. Brie Bella said, and she wrote about how happy she was for Daniel Bryan after the long road that he took to get to this point. She said, from the moment they told him no, he was on a mission to turn that no into a yes, which is essentially the story of Daniel Bryan's career. I can't wait for all of you to hear about his journey to this moment, his dedication, his mission, and his passion. My daughter is lucky to have a daddy who never gives up and who's truly an amazing role model. I love you, Bryan Danielson. So happy that you're back at a place that you love. You're home away from home, the squared circle. So that was Brie Bella's comments on it. This is such an important moment in wrestling. This feels like Michael Jordan announcing that he was back in 1995. This feels like Shawn Michaels coming back at SummerSlam 2002. Bryan was trained by him, and the parallels to their career get even scarier. Bryan is 36 now when he's coming back. Shawn Michaels is 37 at the time. So I feel like Daniel Bryan is about to go right back to excellence. And how Daniel Bryan excelled previously, this is even crazier when you think about this. The guys that he did all that stuff with and had all those raw-ass matches with, compared to what he has to work with now, he can be even better right now. And then you think those guys aren't chomping at the bit right now to wrestle Daniel Bryan? Like, we didn't ever get the main event of Seth Rollins and Daniel Bryan. They were kind of at different points in their careers. We can get AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, Nakamura and Daniel Bryan, Orton and Daniel Bryan. Hell, you can put Daniel Bryan in there with even Baron Corbin, and he can figure it out because this guy's such a genius. You have all the guys on Raw, man, I'm so happy. Like,
there's Miz.
Oh yeah, the Miz got to run the fade too. Oh yes.
If Gargano somehow manages to avoid being put in 205 Live, you have him there for a big time match. Sami Zayn, of course, Kevin Owens. Like you just mentioned Orton, and the reason why, he had a great TV rivalry with Orton, but the thing is, it's been so long since it happened, and that's fresh again, right? Mm-hmm. So he could do Orton again. He could fight. He only fought Cena the one time. He could fight Cena again.
I'm wary of that though. Cena might have to get his win back. I'm wary of that. Nah, so, as far move along, John. That way.
So, but hold on. But think about it. Even given what they had with the part timer guys for because he's such a gigantic star, it seemed like the only person that's allowed to wrestle the other gigantic stars is either Shield members or Shield members. So now, there could be a Daniel Bryan Lesnar match. He always wanted. There could be a Undertaker Daniel Bryan match. There could be all these possibilities. There could eventually be a Shane versus a Daniel Bryan match. I wouldn't want to see it, but if you told me Daniel Bryan, you get to see Daniel Bryan, you get to see him against it has to be Shane, I'll take it. Fine. Mm-hmm. It's not knowing what I know now about or the concerns that I had about him and his health, that have been basically wiped from me now at this point. I'm okay to see that. Give me Daniel Bryan versus Shane. They've done, they held up SmackDown for months and months and months to get to something like that. Sure, do it. Why not?
And
there's so much stuff still available for him.
Let's go to some of these comments. Dion Murphy said he wants to see AJ versus Nakamura versus Red Dragon. That's kind of a strange one. Joe said Daniel Bryan was always saying he was going to wrestle somewhere else if they didn't clear him. That was the swaying decision. They didn't want to let the money go somewhere else. Simon says Daniel Bryan versus The Miz.
I think that's... Go ahead. Real quick, Nick. I don't think that is the deciding factor, but I do think that was at play. I think if there were 5 things involved, I think that's one of the 5 things in it. I don't think that is the number one thing, though. Yeah. I think the main thing is they've had enough. They've talked to enough doctors and whatnot to know that to now feel sure that this ain't gonna come back to bite them in the ass.
Right.
This is a situation where you're just one bad bump away from having another concussion, then they would never do this again.
Simon said Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, and whoever else. Joe says just like that, Bryan is the biggest babyface they have again. If only he was cleared at the Rumble at number 30. Joe also says Kevin Owens is going to super kick Bryan right away. Miguel says ROH original stable, Owens, Zayn, and Bryan. I wouldn't want to see it because I don't think you ever need to turn Daniel Bryan heel again. That man's a babyface for life. He's transcended wrestling on some other shit, as far as how people feel about this man. Yeah.
Anybody gonna believe it?
Yeah. And it's when
they try to cut through the phoniness of wrestling after WrestleMania 17.
Yeah.
Nobody want to boo you. You a babyface for the rest of your life. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Dylan James says, imagine Roman versus Bryan now for the reaction alone. I'm telling you, bro, that's the biggest match that they have right now. And you know, heel Roman Reigns against Daniel Bryan.
Another match is in the, that'll probably be on deck sometime next year, or in the next like 2 to 3 years, if everything goes according to plan. Galloway, when Galloway comes back, he'll definitely be there, and I'm guaranteed, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have a heel run at some point, and it's going to be big time.
Yep.
So yeah.
Dylan also said, "Did we ever get Ambrose versus Bryan? I feel like that's one of those low key Raw matches if it happened." I believe they did wrestle a couple times, Dylan, but that was back in 2013. But never as at a main event level or anything. Jason says, I think Bryan will be on a part-time basis with no serious workload. I think WWE caved into Daniel Bryan to keep him out of Ring of Honor or New Japan. You can't let the money go. This was a bargaining chip to keep Bryan in WWE. I'd agree. I think they said something about Bryan's only going to be working. He's looking at a reduced schedule with this. And, I mean, at this point, fuck it. But
the thing is this. Yeah, but that's the thing I was talking about, last week, even before this news came out. I was like, if they couldn't bring him back, they can bring him back and make him a part-timer. But, the word, Meltzer kind of touched on this in the breaking news episode today on Observer Live. He's like, Daniel Bryan is going to work a full-time, is probably going to work a full-time schedule. It'll just be greatly reduced.
Right.
Not that many house shows. He probably wrestled like 60 matches a year as opposed to back on the old, back to old house show time when he was wrestling 100 and some odd days a year. So I feel like that's kind of like the best. That's almost like a Jericho schedule, kind of.
Right.
So I'd be down with that.
Yeah. And
I'd be down for anything, to be honest with you. But as long as this dude, we can kind of take care of this dude to the extent that there's no such thing as a safe cigarette. There's no such thing as a safe wrestling. But if you can give this dude not limited, but a smaller amount of days to do compared to everybody else, and have him there for TVs, do all the other stuff, then this should work out pretty well.
Miguel Capellan says Bryan is going to be a part-timer. Joe says give him the matches at the Big Four or the Brock schedule. I don't think Daniel Bryan would go for that because he wants to wrestle as much as he can. They've taken enough time away from him in his career. He's been gone essentially since 2015 was his last match, and him coming back now, the retirement speech that he gave in 2016 was one of the most genuine things I've ever seen. It's quite possibly the best segment of Raw ever, and seeing what he's going to do tonight, I am so excited and eagerly anticipating the return of Daniel Bryan. I'm not sure how anyone else feels, as far as, everyone that has railed against this and for whatever reason or another and not wanted Daniel Bryan to come back into the ring and, scared for his health. I mean, all I can say in that end is, fuck it, we ball. He's back, and I'm happy to see it. I'm glad we don't have to rely on Twitter or Reddit as far as their doctors, because all the best doctors in the world have been clearing them for the past 2 years. It's just about time that WWE got on with the program. So, who do you want to see Daniel Bryan wrestle as far as the 5 guys you would say?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, first off top of the list, the first 2 people would be Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. After that, I'll probably say Reigns. Those would be the first 3 that come to my mind immediately. Owens would be a 4. Basically, pretty much you put them in there with the top guys that they have in the company. Number 5, I just have to say Miz, right?
Oh yeah. I think so. How?
Yeah.
So does Daniel Bryan and the Miz? I feel like you can even hold that off until SummerSlam. That is a huge match.
Nah.
Or you want to get right to it?
We ain't saving that. Nope. We're not saving the top guy in the company or the most over guy in the company for the Miz. we are just we taking his fucking belt, we ending his fucking career, we put a knee in his fucking forehead, and we are taking everything from him. That all that shit that let sit for the past year and a half, 2 years. He's about to eat it. He's about to pay for what he owes.
So
that bill come due.
No, the bill due.
Yeah.
Look, man, I definitely.
Miz don't talk so much. Nah, shut up. Miz don't talk too much. Miz don't talk too much shit over the past 2 years. He got to get these hands
and
or
feet.
These forearms
and feet. Yeah, I think Daniel Bryan and Miz is high on my list of most anticipated matches. Yeah, Miz got to feel it, as they say. Jason Barzell says TV and pay-per-views is all he needs to be happy. Miguel says Daniel is going to resign as GM tonight. Jason also says Daniel Bryan versus Rusev. Those two would make it work, given the angle where Rusev has been denied his opportunity on SmackDown, and then Rusev got to run it with Daniel Bryan after that. That would be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. But as far as what Barksdale say, I pretty much feel the same way. It's either like TVs, pay-per-views, like limited TV, like maybe wrestle. I don't know, what would you say would be appropriate? Like wrestle like 20 matches on 20 TV matches a year?
I would say 20 TV matches a year and all the pay-per-views.
Yeah, 20 TV matches a year, all the pay-per-views, and then like only like big house shows.
Right.
Like so
MSG.
NSGs or whatever, and like United Centers, and like when they go over to like Europe or whatever else, and like, obviously whatever they're in like Seattle or whatever else, that sort of thing.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think that is going to wrap it up. I am definitely ready for Daniel Bryan to return to the top of the mountain. But before we go, does Roman Reigns have a problem now?
Alvarez mentioned this, and he thinks that like because Bryan's back, he's like that Reigns going to get shit when he goes to WrestleMania. And in my opinion, like he's going to get shit regardless.
That's true.
So
it's shit on top of more shit.
Like, how much worse can it possibly be when, like, Daniel Bryan is going to be in, like, this isn't the same thing as it was when it was the 2015 Royal Rumble, where, like, Daniel Bryan at that point in time, one of the biggest reasons why the crowd rejected Roman Reigns that night was because it felt like, there was completely unfinished business when it came to Daniel Bryan going to actually go out to the title he had never actually lost, and to go and challenge Brock Lesnar at 31 or whatever else. And they decided, no, it's time for us to push our guy, even though he's probably still a year away. We're going to, instead of taking this bird in the hand, we're going to go out here and try to, make the future now. Mm-hmm. And it backfired. It's kind of cost Roman, but whatever. Like, Roman is a star now, so, and Daniel Bryan's been been out the picture, and has been like so much of an afterthought when it comes to like that WWE's hierarchy as far as like the wrestling thing, that like it's kind of like a start over anew. Like he can just start over. Like, I mean, obviously he's a superstar. I'm not saying he has to do start wrestling the Brooklyn Brawler or Heath Slater or whatever else.
You will start at the beginning of
like
the line.
Right, like The Rock did.
Yes, you will start. You will start at the bottom.
He basically has to press plate to build himself again towards that. Like if this stuff goes over the way that I think it can go over enough, and the talent's still there like it's been, and he knocks the ring rust, given that he's so much better on the mic now than he was even then, like it will be a situation where like he's going to get himself hot again, and there's going to be a march towards WrestleMania 35, and it's not going to be a situation where like it's a Roman Reigns match, it's a Cena match, it's Undertaker match, it's a Lesnar match, like flat out. Like Daniel Bryan is, if he nothing goes wrong, whatever else, like it will be flat out. Like Daniel Bryan is a top guy. He's going to have a gigantic program at WrestleMania. I don't know what title the situation is going to be for, but like he's going to be a semi-main eventer at the worst next year.
Yeah.
Or going to next year's WrestleMania. Like, so.
And they'd be crazy to do anything else.
It is so funny for a guy that like they did basically everything wrong with it, and came across this guy on accident. And we talked about this even when everything when the injuries happened, went with the shoulder and then his head or his brain. We thought like You know, they never knew how good they had it when they had CM Punk and they had Daniel Bryan, and they damn sure didn't know how good they had it when it was just when Bryan saved their asses at WrestleMania 30. Well, look at it now, and I think it's pretty much like they just been given a star out of nowhere.
They got a fucking mulligan,
in a time where like they can't build stars for shit.
They got a fucking mulligan.
Like in a time where they can't build stars for shit, they just been given the biggest star they've ever created over the last since 2011. Yeah. And and that happened on accident. And they just got back. They should thank the lucky stars and be appreciative of what they've missed out on and what they've had under their nose the whole time. You would think that.
Daniel Bryan is back. Jason Barksdale says Bryan is the new attraction in a world where Cena works less, no Brock and no Taker. I don't know if he's going to be the direct replacement for the Brock match or whatever, but Daniel Bryan's like a super main eventer now, and if they fuck this up, they really need to reevaluate their entire company. This time, though, I don't think they will, but like I said, they have a million different opponents. It almost seems idiot-proof. You don't have to make him the main event this year, but WrestleMania 35, oh yeah, he's going to be coming for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, another thing. So another thing I had mentioned, I forgot when I mentioned on that list that I wrote, and in one of the groups I joked about, Daniel Bryan had a wish list of all the new opponents he has, fresh opponents he has now because of him being gone for the 2 to 3 years. Like it looked like that code list when he first hit the Indies.
Yes.
And also like that Ellsworth list when he first hit the Indies again. Look, man, another person that's gonna be on the list is Jericho. Like Jericho and Daniel, New Japan Jericho and Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
That would be the biggest feud of the year.
Yeah.
That would be the biggest feud of the year.
Bro, and Daniel Bryan being cleared, I feel like it is the biggest wrestling story of the year. Like, this has exceeded, Ronda Rousey, in my opinion. This is just happiness from all corners of the fan base. This is a legend being dropped in the middle of his prime back into active competition. This is the return, and I'm just gonna say it, man. I'm just so happy. And there are times when we're doing all this coverage of this stuff. It's just like, man, why do we continue doing this? And why do we put the hours that we do into this? And try to come up with all this damn stuff in our mind. But this was the guy that made me be like, yo, I'm going to start covering this shit and telling y'all how I see it. I remember when at SummerSlam 2013 when he won the title for the first time and they took it from him. I thought it was a good thing because I was like, he's now a main eventer. He's arrived. He gets to be on top. He got that whole legendary storyline popping. Then they took it away from him. And it was like, you almost didn't know how good you had it with Daniel Bryan. And this is like getting the family back together. This is the guy. This is the guy that they have been wanting and not been looking at the whole time. He is reemerged, and I believe he's ready to take his spot back on the throne.
Yeah, and it's also like a really joyous day, as far as the emotional side. I know me. I'm sure a lot of people are like this. They never ever really put it in their mind. They pretty much just treated Daniel Bryan yeah, I see him every day, or I see him every single week, and it's nice to see him. Whatever else, he's still over, and it's good to see that he's WWE still putting some money in his pocket because of how well he did for them and everything else. That they just have him off TV, just eating out the rest of his contract, or just taking it down on his contract, and just waiting for it to roll over or whatever else, or freezing it again. It's nice to see that after kind of emotionally just being after the retirement, just well, they're not putting him in the Hall of Fame yet, but he's done. He's never going to wrestle again. You kind of make your peace with that and just be yeah, man. You hear all these rumors stuff and the Miz thing that happened 2 years ago. You just kind of yeah, it happened, but they're never going to let him wrestle. But now, literally, it was the impossible has happened. Right?
I don't know how you hate on
you know
this.
What I'm saying?
If you're hating on this, I don't know what to tell you, bro.
So yeah, it's so for a lot of people, I know they're kind of wow, I can't believe that I have this back in my life. I thought this was done. Like, I thought, like, those days are over. You know, like, it's back now. Like, I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really happy about this.
Yeah, man. And
the reason why I feel so happy about it is because, like, to me, like, I have been laid at ease or put at ease about, like, all of the clearance for him medically, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, man, that's going to wrap up the breaking news audio of this. But thank you guys for listening. If you haven't checked out the rest of the shows on the network, make sure you go over to Keeping It Strong Style. Check those guys out. They just had the winners of their New Japan Cup contest revealed. The SMC podcast, I'm sure Rance will be firing off with lightning hot takes on this very subject. Make sure you check that out, as well as the Ricky and Clive show. And thank you guys. Leave us a comment. Send us an email. Let us know in the comments how you feel about Daniel Bryan coming back. Add us on Twitter at One Nation Radio, at RichLadder32, at JamesBoyd87. We up out of here, man. Daniel Bryan's back, motherfuckers.
Thank you for listening to One Nation Radio. We'll see you next time.